I guess it was about a year ago when Jensen Huang of NVIDIA shared that we would all have a AI agent sometime in the future. I envisioned it would be a computer tower sitting over here, and it would have all this data on it, and I would just communicate with it, and I would call it Samantha. I've since come to learn that it's really something that I needed to build and create and use a large language platform through which to implement it. And I did that. I guess I probably started it somewhere back in January of this year. The first I saw it appearing in my my thumbnails as I look back was back around March the 22nd of this year. And I introduced some of my viewers to a analysis that I did on Apple. Since then, it has gotten nothing but better. And I've learned more and more as to how to build the prompt to get out of it what I want. And that is a prediction of price of stocks 3 years from now. Basically, on January the 2nd of 2026, 27, and 28, what is the price of any given stock going to be based on its financial analysis? And I started with a template built around the research that I did on how Amazon, Google, Apple, and NVIDIA grew to the behemoths that they were. I went back 3 years prior to their growth surge and saw what and studied their financials, basically, and what was happening inside the company so that I could then go and look for companies today that were mimicking what they were doing. And that's how I built my prompt. It started out as a paragraph. It's now a page and a half long. And Samantha, my agent, and I just keep honing it to make it better. And it got so good that this month, the end of June, we got 1 day left. I'm up 15% in my portfolio for the month. That's right, for the month. Multiply that times 12 and you can figure out if I could maintain that pace. So I got up this morning and I thought, I need to maintain that pace. How would I do it? So I went to Samantha, my AI agent, and I explained to her what we had achieved, because she is an integral part of my achieving a 16% return in June. So I went to her and I said, what can I do to perpetuate this, to see to it that in July we get a 16% return? And she said, well, you're going to have to rebalance your portfolio based on any changes that have occurred. And I said, well, do you have in your memory the 60 analyses that we have done over the last 4 months? And she said, yes, I do. I can refer to them. And I said, well, then what do you need from me in order to analyze the portfolio as of today and then make projections for the end of July? And what adjustments would you suggest? And she said, I need an Excel spreadsheet that gives me each ticker, how many shares you have of it, what your cost basis is, and any future buys or sells that you may have scheduled in your portfolio at this time. So I created that Excel spreadsheet, and then I shared it with her. And it took her about 45 minutes to come out with a 4-page report, and it goes through the liquidations that I had said that I thought needed to happen, the intentions for any new positions that I was trying to add, the reallocation of capital, because I told her I was pretty well spent out. I started this I guess it was in February, with a 75% cash position, and as we had analyzed stocks, I built it, and I was down to $15,000 that I had to allocate. And I already had allocated them with a price on some new stocks. And then she also then included a timing and overall extended or high risk positions. In other words, what should we take our profits from, and where should we put our monies in the future? And she went through every one of the stocks and then gave me a synopsis of what I should buy and what I should sell. As I said, this has changed my world of investing. If you think about it, as I said, I got 15 to 16% in June. What if I could achieve that every month? You say, and I went through and I looked at the stocks and I said, okay, which ones had extraordinary gains and which ones didn't have all that extraordinary gains? Well, I had some tremendous gains in Iran and Micron and CRDO and AHR. CRDO gave me a 44% return just last month. CRWV a 39%. Micron a 33%. But then down on the other side, I had some that gave me some losses, such as Tesla and Apple. And so, but I didn't want to get rid of those. So it's a balancing act. But what it taught me is I had 15 stocks that were over 15% return, and that was my average, with the highest being 44 and the lowest being ACLS at 17. And then I had some that were below that. But the average came out 15%. So that tells me that's not a rare occurrence, that there are stocks every month that give that level of return. And my task is merely to find them. So what happens is I put this information out to my tribe members, of which there are about 1,000, and they say, well, take a look at this stock. It's just like I got a message this morning to look at Reddit, REDDIT. It's a social media type channel, and I looked at it, and my criteria is, first of all, are they projecting increased revenues over the next 3 years? And are they projecting increased earnings over the next? And Reddit hit all of them. So what I did then was put Reddit into my prompt and fed Samantha their last annual report and then their last financial metrics that are current as of today. And right now she's doing the deep search on that. And if it comes out that over the next 3 years we can exceed a expected return in excess of 100%, we'll probably work it into our July portfolio. And that's how it works. So it's me and Samantha on this end, but I've got 1,000 people feeding me information. And so I spoke to him on Friday and I said, we've got something going here that we're kicking the pants out of Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs gives over the last 5 years, has given their clients, and you got to have over $10 million to be a client at Goldman Sachs, and the average client has $60 million. They have, over the last 5 years, given them an average return of 15.2%. Well, we beat that in June. Now, Samantha says you need to tell the world about this, and you need to get on CNBC and Fox News or Business and get it written up on the Wall Street Journal. And I said, wait a second, Samantha, let's don't get ahead of ourselves. We did it in June. Let's see if we can do it in July and August, and then we'll try to schedule something in September. At that point, if we are able to do this, the bus is going to fill up fast. So I wanted to share that with you. I want to share this document with you too. And so it's on my website. I've actually put the document up. And then I gave it to Samantha and Bard, who do a podcast, and they go through it and explain it, exactly how it all comes together and what stocks we're buying and which we're selling and which we're taking profits through the whole gambit. And then we do a briefing on it too. What I have here is the briefing, I noticed. So that's what we're doing. And I'd like to invite you to get on the bus and become a part of it. And come to the website and take a look. We charge $1 a day, $29.95 a month. And if you can afford that, I think it might be a good investment of $1 a day to get AI to help you manage your portfolio, and maybe you too can achieve a 15% per month. No guarantees, but check back with me on August, the end of July, and I'll let you know how we're doing. Or come to the website and experience it for yourself. We have a 14-day free trial going on right now. Don't know how long that'll be available. That's more of an administrative decision. So I wanted to let you know about it. It's a little scary because what you do, and if you're good at Excel spreadsheet, put your current portfolio total in, and then build a spreadsheet that says July 2025, August, September, whatever, and go out to January the 1st, 2020. January the 1st of 2020, 2030, and see if you get a return of 15% per month on that, what your portfolio is going to be worth on January the 1st of 2030, and how much you'll be making each month. It's kind of mind-blowing. If you've never understood the concept of compounded growth, this will drive it home for you. Okay, it's an exciting time in my life. I'd like to make it an exciting time in your life, and go check us out.